All right. One of the cool things that we do every month is one of our episodes, one of our segments in the show is a community spotlight. This is sponsored by Gateway Bank, who, by the way, talk about a local bank that wants your business and earns it. Make sure you check with the good folks at Gateway Bank. This is kind of a way to focus on our nonprofit, which Mesa is heavily invested in. And today we've got a very special guest. He's going to talk about COVID and how that's affected his duties. But please welcome, from the Mesa HoHoKams, Mr. Steve Adams. The Mesa HoHoKams, by the way, started in 1951, before Steve was around, as a special events committee of the Mesa Chamber. It was started by Dwight Patterson. They've grown by leaps and bounds. Every year they have what they refer to as the Big Ho. And it is an enduring term, contrary to how it might sound to the uninitiated. But it's a pleasure to have with us today the Big Ho, Mr. Steve Adams. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mark. I'm glad to be here, talk about what's going on with our organization and spring training. You mentioned the Big Ho rank here, or our description. We are very proud of that. We don't know what's going to happen when we elect our first woman president, but we'll see what happens with that.
I have a feeling there might be a change in the title.
There might be. Yes, there might be.
Just guessing. And by the way, we're open to suggestions on that if you'd like to email us with possible names.
Actually, the term is Big Chief Ho, but we've shortened it. So.
Oh, well, for you especially. We just cut to the chase. Well, I know, Mesa is the spring training home for the Chicago Cubs, which I believe is still the largest attended in normal times. I'm so sick of saying that. Yes. In normal times. My Major League spring training team, and the Oakland A's, both gorgeous stadiums, huge driver of economics into the Mesa area and the Mesa charitable arena. And a lot of that comes from the 50-50 raffle that you guys do at all the games. Would you like to talk a little bit about that, Steve?
Yeah, we started the 50-50 raffle many, many years ago. It's just kind of a thing to do in the ballpark. We actually were splitting tickets, raffle tickets, where we'd sell 10 tickets and tear them up and all this. And over the years, it's become basically a gaming operation within the ballpark. It's all computerized, and we, sell tickets, through using our terminals. It's like I said, it's become a big gaming operation. I think a couple of years ago we did about $460,000 in sales between the two parks. Split that in half, and then we distributed to our half to the community. So it's been a great godsend to what we're doing at spring training.
That is awesome.
And to the community.
Speaking of your fellow HoHoKams, how many members are involved and active?
Right now we have probably about 170 members active. Almost all of them. It's maybe 155, something like that are actually active. Our average age of our organization is probably in the mid-60s. So, you can tell that, we have a lot of retirees and people who are very interested in the community and spring training and, promoting spring training. You
didn't say that mid-60s in any way that was disparaging at all, did you? Like mocking someone that maybe...
No, because... Unfortunately, in the last year or two, I went over the average.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a young age now.
Exactly. It's the oldest I've ever been, and it's just getting weirder.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Hey, the elephant's the Oakland A's mascot, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
The elephant in the room is COVID. What's going on? Do you personally have any idea on when this is going to be over the hump and behind us? And how does it change what the HoHoKams are doing?
Yeah. Well, I only can do what Dr. Fauci says, and he says we're going to go through the fall. So I think we're going to have to live with that. Back in March of last year, basically we had a hard close on our spring training around March 13th. We all showed up to the game one day and they said, no, we're not going to have a game now or forever or for the rest of the year. And it was pretty drastic. Since then, as we look into this next year, we are looking at both clubs doing a limited seating type of situation. Spring training starts, and it's scheduled to start February 27th. And as far as I know, I believe that it will start on February 27th. So the A's will be somewhere 2,500, 3,000 in the stands. The Cubs will have 4,000 in the stands. They'll be separated in family pods type of thing, 2 to 6 or 1 to 6, I guess, people basically on the aisles, and 3 or 4 rows away from the home plate. So it's going to be very limited. It's going to affect our probably our revenue from both clubs, and it's going to affect the amount of 50-50 tickets we sell.
Yep.
And quite honest, this last year, we take most of the money that we receive, and we're kind of a pass-through organization where the money we receive from the clubs, we pass through to the community in donations. And that basically got cut in half from the prior year for 2019. And probably looking at something around the same type of revenue cut on that. So for going forward for 2020.
That's crazy. Well, I know everybody, when you think of the HoHoKams, you think about spring training, which is a couple of months. But you guys are active around the clock, all year long. Tell us some of the stuff you do besides spring training.
Well, I mean, most of the stuff we do is related to baseball or sports, and it's also related to some of the donations we do. I mean, we do cookouts at like the men's shelter in Mesa. We got together and we did food distribution with the United Food Bank a couple weeks ago. So we're trying to stay active in things that we do. And every once in a while we'll do another fundraiser event to try to raise more funds for the community. But a lot of, it seems like anytime, the WAC baseball tournament comes in and we help man, woman, that during the season. So we try to stay active. This last year has been kind of non-active to the extent that, we did the food drive, but we're chomping at the bit to get out and do something. I mean, when I call for volunteers to do something, massive turnouts because we want to do something.
That's great. Hey, I don't think I ever anticipated asking somebody this question, but how does one become a Ho?
Well, besides being a Ho for the day like you do almost every year, Mark.
That's just the one I know about.
and we love it when you come out. And I think last year the mayor, who's sitting right next to you, did the same shtick. So it was pretty nice. Actually, the mayor is a honorary Ho as he is. So
true.
He might even not have known that. So.
No, I knew that. You don't often get honorary and Ho in the same, title.
Well, you can't spell honorary without Ho.
That's true. Hey, Mark, if you don't mind, I just want to, before I give up the floor, Steve, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the community, because you're kind of underplaying a lot the contributions that the HoHoKams make to our community, and your focus on youth sports in particular. You guys put on high school track meets and swim meets, and the funding that you give to Little League teams and other youth-oriented sports tournaments and leagues in the city is, I'm not sure how we're going to do it, with the revenue cuts that you're experiencing. So I just want to say on behalf of particularly the youth in our community that have been such beneficiaries of your generosity, thank you so much. We're going to do everything we can to have the best spring training we can this year. We're going to make lemonade out of the lemons, and at least we'll have 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 people coming out. I think it might be an opportunity for locals maybe to get into the stadium. Well, I guess what I want to say is don't just not try to go to a spring training game this year.
Yes.
We'll figure out what the ticket distribution is going to be, and it's going to be great baseball. And it's probably going to be a lot of fun to be able to put your feet up on the seats and have a little elbow room when you're watching the game. So.
And we're going to be very, very safe. I mean, we're going to follow all the protocols, socially distancing. Everybody wears a mask the whole time when you're in the facility. So it is going to be very safe to attend a spring training game.
That's good to know.
So to answer Mark, to answer your question, basically you need to be nominated by a current member to be elected, and then when we have a meeting, you need to receive over 50% of the votes of the people eligible to vote. So it's pretty. Over the years, people have been up 2, 3, 4 times before they're actually elected as a member.
Well, that is good to know. And you know what? If you're watching this at home and you really know all the great work that the HoHoKams do, and you feel like, what can I do to, I can't go to the game, maybe it's not a good fit for me. Do you guys accept donations over the internet? How can somebody give the HoHoKams money that then gets passed through to needy charities?
Yes, we do have a foundation, and we've set up on our website to donate directly to the foundation. Actually, we're fine-tuning that right now, but there will be a donation button on the website within the next few days. So,
that's awesome.
As spring training has declined in the last year and a half, that we're looking at other sources of revenue.
That's great. Well, Steve, we joke around a lot about it, and I know you take this job or this position very, very seriously. I know a lot of your fellow Hos, and boy, they're just great guys. They love baseball. They love interacting with each other. They love Mesa, and they love that.
It is a great organization. Has a great history, and we really appreciate everything that. I appreciate everything all the former members have done and all the current members are doing. We're a very, very hardworking organization.
Well, none of your predecessors in your position have had to deal with this, with the pandemic. I hope you're the only one, but you're handling it beautifully. And let's.
Thank you. I want to go, but then I have to stop because you can't do a lot of things.
Well, like you said, go ahead and see some baseball. I'll tell you what, those two stadiums, Sloan Field and the A's Stadium. HoHoKams. Yeah, well, it's just gorgeous. It's why if you live in Arizona, it's one of the reasons you should go. I mean, it's.
A while back, I started this hashtag Why I Live in Mesa, and it was a brainstorm that occurred while I was frankly sitting at a spring training game and saying, what a shame it would be for somebody to live in Mesa and to not take full advantage of all the things that are kind of unique and special about our community. And spring training is definitely one of them. So if you live in Mesa and for some reason haven't had that experience, you really that needs to be a bucket list thing for everybody that lives in Mesa.
Yep. You meet people in Arizona all the time that say, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. And you go, but then that's a long drive and you got to put yourself up. Come to one of these stadiums, hang out for a day, soak up some vitamin D, which I'm no doctor, but I wear a mask and I get vitamin D. And Dr. Fauci would tell you those are two great things to do. So, Steve, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come be with us.
Appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. And we'll get through this, and in the meantime, watch some good baseball.
Good. Definitely.